I don't have no bleeding moderators. Probably not down here. There's some on by me again. So yeah, I was in there. God, it was hard handing over 300 quid to the corruption, to let the corruption continue, but what are you gonna do? As everyone else is saying, it is what it is, huh? But yeah, so paid that. Still have to go back in on the 16th. I was like, why? She goes, well, it's like to make it official, you know, as in well, have me in for an hour just to tell me that it's been scrubbed off. And she's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, I tell you what though, it's really the last fucking year, the last few years, but really the last year, since they've been dragging me through that court, it's really fucking opened my eyes to the whole dark side of the system. Do you know that way? What's up, Sean? What's the crack? So yeah, I have to go back in on the 16th. I should have waited to pay it until the 16th, shouldn't I? But I thought if I just go in and pay it, then it's done and dusted. But now they have to bring you back in just to tell you that it's been scrapped. It's a bit weird. So Guinnesses. I tell you, I was cruising in and I seen some more buildings that were like, I just stood there and stared at them for a good 10 minutes. Got lost in the fucking moment. But after the 16th is done and out of the way, I'm going to do a lot more videos where I'm out walking, you know. I know I do a few lives in the gaff and stuff, but I have to get out and start walking more and looking around local areas, particularly around my area. Because like I said, right, they all, like you see me, and if people were in Paul Fitz's channel there last night, or Anthony Casey, if you were on his channel there last night, I was saying it in their chat that just because your man came out and said that about Coolock, the people out in Coolock are still outside there, you know, and there's many eyes watching that place. So if they think they can give us that olive branch, it's not going to work, you know. The people out in my area aren't stupid. They know full well what government media and the Garda are up to, you know. We know what they're up to. They're trying to like whitewash it, you know, that way. Like how when Mr. Martin there was, see him going up Moore Street the other day. Where's all the Roma gypsies gone? Cleared them out just for a photo op, you know. That's exactly what they did. They just cleared them out so Martin could walk up the street, and even when he did, you hear the lads bleeding, coursing them out of it. I thought that was great. Good old Collie, man. He's a good man. He's a good soul, that fella. Is that the chap? That's the chap that took over. Remember Noel Zone did an interview with him? He took over Joyce House. I'll pass it now and I'll show you it. But there's a few more buildings on this side as well that are a bit, they're boarded up, but I can only imagine what they have planned for them, you know. I know a lot of us keep saying all these new apartments that are springing up everywhere, that's probably where they're going to flood them in, but they're going to start using like old derelict buildings and stuff like that. It's not, you could point out to the NPCs that like it's not really safe putting people in there, you know. It's not safe putting humans in buildings like that, but they still won't give a fuck, you know, as long as they can just, oh, look at me, give me some virtue signaling points, you know what I mean? That's all they do. That's all of them. That's all they think about, is getting brownie points with their mates. Because if they speak like we speak, they fear that, oh, that man calling me a racist, he's calling me a fascist, you know? Windbags, fucking windbags. Grow a bleeding spine, that's what I say. Because it's getting really late in the game now. Who else is in there? Throw a few comments in so I can see, because the last time I did this, YouTube stopped me comments and I couldn't reply to you. We're doing there was basically, you know when there's a big football event on in a foreign country, who are known for using like child labour and all this stuff. When it comes up to the games actually taking part in those countries, so the people that they used, right, to build the stadiums to host wherever it is they're hosting. I think it was one of the Middle Eastern countries got in trouble recently for it. But when the events take place there, right, they hide everything, whitewash everything and hide it. That's exactly what happened on Moore Street. That's the level of the level that they're willing to go to keep the Irish, or keep the Irish people that can't really critically think for themselves, you know, the ones that still trust mainstream, the ones that still think that the Guardians are the guardians of the peace, the Guardians. Jeez, there's a lot of ambulances today again. Must have keep blessing myself. It's like automatic reaction. But to keep the same people believing that the Garda are actually on their side, right? When we know that the Guards are just there to protect the likes of Martin and all these bureaucrats, you know. That's all they're there for. They're there to protect them. And but that's the lengths they're willing to go. They're willing to go ahead the night before. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the night before they went up and told all the rot here, there's a few €100, just don't be on this street tomorrow, yeah? I'm telling you, that's what they did. That's what they did with Moore Street. How are you, Eaton Bear? Nice to see you. Good afternoon, Paddy. What's the story? When you look at me, you wouldn't say I was, but when you listen to me, you know I am. I was actually talking to one of the guards in there. He was saying, I just came out and said, yeah, I'm one of the lads from Coolock from last year. And he goes, oh, right, yeah. And he goes, sure, most of that's all quashed now and done away with, isn't it? You know, it's the second time I've heard the word quashed in a long time. Once was by me solicitors and once was by a Garda. Where I said, no, I said, people, whoever's out there thinking that all of Coolock is done away with and it's over, it's not, I said, because we have 100 eyes on that place, you know. So if they think the people of Coolock are going to just roll over and accept that, oh well, that's not going to get, they've another thing fucking coming, I'll tell you that. They have another thing coming. Sorry if it's a little bit windy here. I always get a little, when I go through the alcoves, it gets a bit breezy. Oh, it was that's Joyce's house over there. That's where Collie was. That's where he took over. Yeah, he's born and raised in Dublin, yeah. Coolock. Or Coolog. Huh? I got myself not a full-time tutor, but I connected with someone on X who's willing to take the time out to give me hints and tips and tricks on learning the Irish language. So I've been looking at a few YouTube videos and all just to start off, you know, like the basic greetings and stuff. But I'm determined to learn it. I'm determined. When I came in here this morning, I don't know, it seemed real like, it just, you know, when you get a vibe, I just got the vibe that it's not the same anymore. It's just not, there's something gone. There's something gone from Dublin City. I just can't quite put my finger on it yet. Some sort of like, a bit of the atmosphere is just gone, do you know? That's just me speaking from like my own opinion on it, but it just feels like something's been, the life has been sort of sucked out of it a bit, you know? There's a warning for me electricity going. Nice motor. Jaguar. Oh, the up and coming peaceful assembly on, people have been asking, am I going to go to the park or am I going to go to or am I going to go to the garden? And I think because I know there's going to be more that go to the garden, I think I'm going to pop down to the garden. But I think the two groups should meet up, you know. I even heard there was a third one, but hopefully they all like join together and link in. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? It's just a lovely thought to have. The St. Paul's Cathedral up here, right? You see this building, man. It's really lovely. It's absolutely stunning. Feel gothic looking. I'm going back to my old roots with my videos showing you the old buildings. Yeah, yes sir. I was just up in the carts getting them at me back. They're not fully at me back yet. I have to go back in. Into the Wednesday. I did notice though, for every time I was in there, see, this is screaming to me that everything is all organised when it comes to the carts, right? Especially those, you know, them videos I've done on the two lads outside. And there's one lad that's always there, right? He's literally, every time I went back in, I've been back in like 8 times. And he's always there, right? But I went up and there was none of them outside the cart room today, you know? So that has me thinking, are these journalists, are they told when and when not to be there, do you know? Because that's what it's saying to me. It's they're getting a list of people that are like, right, say for instance Coolock. Right, we know that the lads from Coolock are up in court today. Make sure you're there. Make sure you get loads of photos of them coming into court. You know, make them look as guilty as possible, type of thing. It's not Cockamilis. Yeah, they should join up, man. They should. More numbers together, a show of unity, you know, things like this. There was something about Northern Ireland I'm going to talk about now in a second, but just have a look at that building, man. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. I get like goosebumps. I don't know if any of you get that when you look at old architecture like that, but I just get goosebumps. The old cross. Look at the old cross on the back. I can't really. Sorry for the wind. I can't zoom in too far. Look. Look at that. Oh, thanks. Fucking Ukrainian bus. St. Paul's. I'm just getting the front of it here now. See what I mean? There's statues up the top that I want you to have a look at. It's Bentley. If Enola was here, she'd be loving it. Now look, St. Paul's Church. Now you see that man there on the right. He's got like he's like a bishop, but he's doing that Apollyon finger thing. You know, like on the O'Connell statue. Seems to be a recurring theme with certain statues in town. His arm's gone. Oh yeah, well it's not. You know, I asked your woman who was dealing with it first. I said, well, first I rang my solicitor before I went in, and I said, right, I'm going in to make this charitable donation. I says, when I send a receipt to you, send a letter out to me that shows that I'm not going to have a criminal record. She goes, yeah, that's no problem. As soon as we receive the receipt for that, I'll send it straight out to you. So, but I was talking to your woman behind the counter who was dealing with it, and I was like, yeah, I have to do this. I have to make this like. Well, the judge said it was a charitable donation, but certain people are saying to me that it's like a fine. And she goes, no, if the judge said it's a charitable donation, she says they'll more than likely just have you back in, and then they'll sorry, wind. I need to get one of those little mics, you know, that people have. I need to get one of those and just strap onto my chest. Yeah, there's a lovely church. What was I saying? Yeah, she goes, no, you'd be you simply make the charitable donation, right? And then you go back in. She goes, I can see that you're back in on the 16th in court, which I thought once I paid that was done and dusted, but they want you to go back in then to just make it a formal thing where all the charges that were being brought against me by the Garda just get dropped, you know? So there's that. I suppose the good side of it is that. Alright, so what's the story? I was in paying me, making me donation, I was. What was the thing? Oh yeah, I wanted to say something about Northern Ireland. I see the Irish government now. Well, yeah, because they're the same thing. The Irish media and the Irish government are the same thing, and the Garda. They're like one branch. But I see that the media now is pushing out stories about unifying Ireland, or rather, don't be distracted by stories about unifying Ireland. Isn't that mad? Isn't it mad that the media come out and say that? You know, they literally said in their headline, don't let it be a distraction for you. I'm like, what? Who the hell thinks of these headlines? You know? And of course then I go onto Twitter and I see all the shinners giving out kicking off murder, you know, this type of thing. And I said, alright, so let me get this straight. The shinners want a united Ireland. And they're like, yeah, of course, that's what we want, yeah. I said, then why the fuck were you calling people traitors for going up and uniting together, the people uniting together? What's the difference? Is it you only agree with it when Sinn Féin wanted to happen? You know what I mean? I mean, these people are just walking contradictions. The whole lot of them, they're just... My favourite word of 2005, cognitive warfare. The cognitive dissonance is all over the shop. There's bleeding loads of Garda in town today. Loads of them. And I was talking to a couple of people out in Coolock. You know, a lot of them are fed up with the large scale marches and peaceful assemblies. Like they just gave up on them type of thing. Doesn't mean that they're giving up on Coolock itself, you know. I suppose it's all the negative sort of pressure that's been put on them by, like, if people coming from East Wall claiming that they're part of Coolock, right? But then in the same breath, when people from Dublin go to different counties, you know, they're kind of shunned and told, well, this isn't your area, what, you're just here to start trouble. No, they're actually there to try unite, you know? It's just weird. Everything's just all... It's the land of confusion, man. It's the land of confusion. What's that? The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It's the final, most essential command. Yeah. But it was mostly the shinners that, you know, got offended by lads from certain areas of Dublin going up the north and standing with whatever. Because what was happening there, right? When those people were standing side by side, it wasn't nothing to do with like Republicans joining the Unionists. That's not the case. What was happening there is, and the truth of the matter, what was happening was people from Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland were sick and tired of being ignored by the establishments in each country. They were sick and tired of it, and they were trying to get together and deliver a message of, look, we're not going to take this. Like, you keep flooding our country or our countries with unvetted males from Africa and the Middle East, you know, and areas up there are becoming even more dangerous. Just like the people in the Republic wanted, the message they wanted to get across. Oh, don't know what that alarm was for. Just like the people of the Republic wanted to highlight was, we've areas that aren't safe anymore, you know. What did you say there, Straw Dog? Politicians and media who forgot where they left 6 counties of the century are worried because the people stuck together. Yes, that's exactly it, man. Because, do you know, it's not It's it's because of the, let me get this word correct now, but it's because what drove them together to stand beside each other. That's what they can't let get out more, you know? They'd rather just say, look at them all joining the unionists, you know? The Brit lovers and all this sort of stuff. When that's not the message. That wasn't the message that was the lads were trying to deliver. They were trying to simply say, look, stop flooding our bleeding countries with these unvetted lads, yeah? That was it, you know? Most people up there, like people in the Republic now, afraid to let their bleeding children out. Even on their own street. There's so many stories of now, I won't let my child out. When I was coming in, there was like a lovely, he's down there. There was a lovely swan and he went right beside me. It's pretty cool. He's down there under the bridge. Doing the same. Yeah. Yep. What, like voting? Here's Sean. Sean, here's one here now, right? You all know, I'm not like a Trump pusher or anything like this, but I see a lot of posts coming out now going, it must have been rigged. There's no way Trump won. That's cognitive dissonance again, hitting these people, you know? He's part of it. He's part of causing the cognitive dissonance in people. You know, two different messages. Like, he's meant to be this guy who is, like, yeah, he has them all bricking themselves over these tariffs or whatever. But, like, once you know certain things about him, it kind of makes you go, Like, he signed off on 5G. He started warp speed, do you know? And then there's people who didn't take part in that, slagging people who slagged Trump, but yet they're willing to ignore the fact that he launched warp speed, you know? It doesn't make sense, does it? It just doesn't make sense. Go to Eddie Rockets, empty pockets, I will me hoop. Can't afford to eat in that place. It's like a tenner for a bleeding singlet chips. But yeah, it's Sean hit it there. You're on it. It's the mixed messages, man. It's the mass propaganda, the delivery of so many conflicting messages that it's hard to keep up with. So a person can't actually stop and think. You know. Like I've often said, it's bad enough that there's people, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there's people that do the 9 to 5, right? They can't afford to stop and think about what's actually going on. They're so focused on just get to work, you know, do their piece, come home, eat, sleep, rinse and repeat, you know. So it's kind of the same as that. It's like throwing loads of information at people so they can't really stop and think. They're just constantly getting fed conflicting messages, and that just messes with the mind something fierce, you know. Everyone knows Frankie, and he was like myself. He admits it as well, that when all that stuff started before COVID, with the queue, you know, the queue stuff, you know, it was like fucking hell. Like, this white hat stuff, and I was like, yeah, like this is looking good. Yeah, they're all working behind the scenes. They're not. They're not. It's just another fucking psyop to bleeding drag shit out. To stop people, like, ultimately all getting together and saying, you know, enough is enough. There's people out there who are quite content to just let these white hats deal with it. I like it when people say, you know, no one's going to come and save you. You have to save yourself. That's exactly what it is. There's old Ormond's court. He sold it. Sale agreed on it. And see that little thing there? I seen two of them up by the courts. See this drawing? Sue, is that the face that was outside your old place? Looks kind of familiar to it. But it's on that old Ormond Street building now. One where they kicked all them foreign lads out. There is that, is it? Yeah, fucking knew it. There's two up beside the courts as well. There's every language. You can hear every fucking language in here. In Ukrainian and Hindu and whatever. Hang on, I'm gonna put you down for a minute. Zach, yeah, nice to meet you, Zach. I'm trying to figure that out. Fiona, I don't know. I've seen it around a few places. Out in my area, there's an artist apparently, but I kept seeing that word evoke, or the evoker. You know, it's everywhere out in my area. But that dog face thing, I don't know what it means. Maybe someone can take a still of it and do like a reverse image search on it or something. Exactly, straw dog, yeah. Because I still know people who are like, you know, Trump's going to save them. No, he's fucking not. You know, it's just like it's just another case of dragging things out, you know. It'll come to the end of his 4 years, and then I watched an interview with your man Steve Bannon, who's like one of Trump's right hand men, and he was asked who could actually challenge Trump. He says was asked of him, sorry, and he goes, well, it's not going to be any of these. Oof. Fucking crow going after the seagull. It's not going to be any of these Democrats, he says. He says it's going to have to be some form of like celebrity with a lot of influence. Isn't that mad? So they're just telling you that it's all just a gig to them, because he just stated that the only one that can challenge Mr. Trump is a celebrity. Isn't that mad? I know, I said that when I came in, Sue. It's like as well, like the, what's the word? Like the energy, you know, it's real. It's like the energy's been sucked out of town. It's weird. Like, I'm not one mad into all that sort of stuff, but it just feels like you just get a vibe. Like a bit of the spirit is gone or something, you know? And the smells are bleeding disgusting. There's another bleeding foreign language. Go talk Gino lad, thank you. Yeah, I'm out. I can't make sense of that. Eating beer, don't know. It's been sucked out of the entire oil. Yeah, true that. No, I was like 15, 16 coming in here. We used to come in here and do LAN nights. Me and the lads used to do LAN nights. We were all mad into our gaming back in the day. Bit of Red Alert and stuff like that. And we used to come in here and the place would be buzzing. Like, you know, I'm not saying you're brushing off people or anything like that, but the place would be jammers. Didn't matter when you were in here. And it was just like dead. Alrighty. After they bleeding wrecked the place there the other day. You see the videos coming out of them, all the Heineken bottles and the thing all stewed everywhere. Up that way somewhere. But yeah, just if anyone is going in on the 26th, don't be shy. Come up, you know what I look like. Here, I'll show you again. So if you see me, just come up and have a chin wag and say a little bit in that you want it into me live that I'll be doing. I'm gonna be at the Garden Remembrance one, right? Don't be shy. It's about time we put it back in, yeah, Sean. That did surprise me though, outside the courts. They weren't there today. You know? They even told me last time that we're here every day. Well then where the fuck were they? You know? I'm telling you, they're getting told when to be there, when not to be there, what type of photos they have to get, you know? Or it was probably a case of there was a few guard up in court on charges. So don't be there today. You know that way? These are the only logical explanations for them not being outside that court today. Here's a nice one. When I get me nashers sorted, I'm going to shave the whole thing off. I'm going to look about 10 years younger when I shave it all off. And I'm going to do, there's a walk coming up. I don't know if people know your man, Paco. No, Paco Connors. He does lots of charity work and stuff out in my area, but I'll advertise it on my page and all. But he's doing a walk. Hang on. He's doing a barefoot walk of like so many miles, but it's directed at some it's something to do with the Catholic religion. There's some certain thing in the Catholic. You know how travellers are really religious, they're really protective of their statues as well, which is nice to see. It's not like our government and your woman wanting to remove them statues all around towns. Remember one with the big frog eyes? Can't think of her name. Dort is her name. What's this? I'm thinking going in, bringing me daughter. I want a selfie with Derek. Yeah, Derek's cool. Yeah, just see, that's part of using the comedy side of things as well. I think it can be quite powerful when you use the comedy side of things, you know? When he's just pointing out how ridiculous, like, the ridiculousness overall. He's very good at pointing that out. I'll give him that. Or like doing like satire and stuff. Oh yeah, look, here. See on top of the statue, look. Not the top of it, but see? She's doing the Apollyon finger as well. It's just that with her two fingers straight up, see? And she's pointing up to him. Just like on the top of St. Paul's Church. Huh? What's this? Eric, the Garden of Remembrance will be a peaceful protest. You'll ever be at. Yeah, but you know what I was thinking of doing, Sue? Well, it was always going to be the case from now on whenever these events sort of take place. I'm just going to be real standoffish, you know? The reason I got nicked and all was because I was like in the mix and I was in the Guard of Faces and stuff like that. I'm just going to be like not too far away, but I want to watch these people who are constantly interacting with the Garda, you know? I want to be the one to point these out, because we shouldn't be listening to anyone that has been led around by the Garda Síochána, right? Because if they are, they're not for the people of Ireland. They're simply just happy to... You might as well just call them establishment shills, you know? You might as well just call them that, because they're still listening to the Garda. And the Garda despise us. Whether you want to believe it or not, they despise us. Exactly, just do your own thing, yeah. And you see, there was people even in on Fitzy's chat there last night. You could see people's frustration in the sense of like, well, why are you promoting one and not talking about the other one and all this stuff, you know? Trying to force their message that they want onto him to get him to talk about it. when he's not going to do that, you know. He's probably just like myself, you know. Do your own thing, stick to your own, path, you know. And that's going to be me in the future. I'm just going to stick to my own thing. But I will be keeping a very close eye on people who mingle and go up and talk to the Gardaí. Because that's gonna tell me everything I need to know, you know. Simple as that. It's gonna tell me what their intent is, you know. Because when was the last time we went out with Malik? It was mid last year. Mid last year was the last time I went out with him, and we were going our own way. Like the people, we were walking wherever we wanted, you know. But then it all changed once the Gardaí turned up and started talking to Maliki, and then we were being told where we can and can't go, do you know. So fuck that. Like, kind of making me mission now, sort of doing my own thing. That's going to be my mission. I'm not the only person angry with their country being destroyed. I understand the anger, man. I understand the anger, you know. But I mean, what's that going to do for you? Honestly, what's the anger going? The anger's going to do nothing for you. The anger's just going to make you feel worse, you know. It's just going to make you feel worse as a person. I know it's frustrating, and it can make you really angry as to why aren't more people fucking paying attention to this. I get it. I understand it completely. But I also know from when I first started going out to do these type of videos, like the peaceful protests and stuff, it really hit home when I had family members turn around and say, you know, why are you out there associating with them racists and them fascists? You know? That's when something went off in my head. That you could be out there with certain people who other people have an ideology about or an idea about. So therefore you're the exact same. You're the exact same as, say, let's use fucking McGregor for instance, you know. Now people have it in their head that anyone that is promoting or associates with McGregor, you're pro-rapist, are you? You're pro-rapist. You see what it does? So that's why I say to you, do your own thing. Do your own point of view on everything. Don't associate with any of them. Especially anyone that's like got a seat in with the government, you know. These people are happy to just drag shit out. Yeah, we'll go down and I'll lead a few marches. Get a few more, sit on the council for a few more years, you know what I mean? Get a nice little retirement package out of it. That's all they're thinking about. They're not thinking about us. They're thinking about themselves. But I completely get the frustration and the anger. It's a natural thing, man. Anger is a natural human emotion. Especially if you're like us, people in me chat here, and your eyes have been opened to everything, to how bad the system is, how it tries to undermine nationalists so hard, you know. That's one thing they're afraid of now, nationalism. And I always thought, like, why do they see nationalism as a bad thing? But of course they tie fascism into being a nationalist. Isn't that mad? Like, if you're a nationalist, you're a fascist. Isn't that mad? The power of words, huh? Well, the other thing with McGregor, I kind of lost. Like, when he first started out, I was like, oh, that's great, isn't it? Yeah, good Irish fighter, you know, the fighting Irish and all that. But some point down the line, he's gone to the dark side, that fella. I've seen him posing with Adam Sandler and all these people. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing surrounding yourself with Zionists, you fucking idiot? You know, I could go off on a big spiel about Zionists as well, but I won't. Frankie's informed all he is about them. and what they're about. Oh, what's the story, Paul? Those that went to lead are about themselves, their legacies. That's the same comment I got when I mentioned McGregor. Yeah, do you know what I mean, Audrey? That's exactly the plan. That's exactly part of the cognitive warfare that's been unleashed on all of us, right? There's no way you can possibly support a rapist, you know? There's no way you can support someone. Well, we did witness him punch an old man in a pub, didn't we? Do you know? So is that kind of on us? Is that on us to come to our own conclusions about him? I think it is. And you have respect for your elderly, you know? You don't go around punching them in the face. Plus, like I said, he's all pallies now with the Zionists, so he can go fuck himself. I know, Sid. I know. See, there's so much. There's so much. And what you're saying there about anger, you know, they've weaponized it. They've made it like so it's a bad thing. Like you can't possibly be angry about having more people brought into the country. You can't be angry about that. That's a good thing, isn't it? And like even Trump said it about the housing. Like he said that was a good thing. It shows that Ireland, the people or the establishment in Ireland are doing a good thing if they have a housing crisis. Why? Because they're flooding the fucking country. Do you know? Where's your humanity? Yeah, where's your humanity? They went out the door when they joined the EU. There you go. Just say that back to them. Went out the door when they got rid of our sovereignty as a nation. Don't worry, Sean. There's no grammar Nazis in my chat. You don't have to respell anything. That's one thing I hear about Twitter. You have to bleed and asterisk your misspelt words under it. I do it just on spite now because I do. Say I mistype the word "de." I redo it underneath and put a little grammar nasty badge under it going, just in case they come into me chat. What are people saying here? Hang on, I'll go back up. Yeah, Sean, he blocked me. I don't know why. So refuse Nick Sean. I don't know why the Sean, can't think of his second name, but I don't know why he blocked me. I thought we were on the same side, do you know? But we're obviously not if he's fucking blocking me, do you know? It was surprising because he's another Kulak lad, do you know? And most of Kulak are thinking the same when it comes to all this. Like most of Kulak are in agreement with it. Like, sorry, not in agreement with what's happening, but they're in agreement that they don't want it in their area. Anyway, I have to get on my bus now to go home and feed the babs. So yeah, I don't think I have it tonight. So I might if I post up, I'll be doing a live from this channel, right? I'm gonna hop on this. Sorry, Eunice, you're joining me too late. I'm hopping on the bus. I'm going home. So yeah, go on. Love and peace, and I'll talk to you all again.